late. Yeah, I said it. Welcome to Tennessee Valley this morning. I'm Rob Alderman. With me, as always, the Hollywood Slinky, who now picks a topic. Ready? Go.
Wired magazine reported that eating boogers is actually good for you because it helps build your immune system by exposing it to diseases and bacteria that is found in your nostrils. Tell me, Rob, do you or do you not advocate eating boogers?
I do advocate health. Ergo, I guess for certain people, that is a good, if you maybe can't afford vitamins, if you can't afford healthy foods, can't afford going to the gym, maybe that's a good idea. I will say this. Ooh. The people that I know that do eat their boogers, those folks are healthy folks. When you see somebody, right, you tell me this, when's the last time you saw a frail person eating their boogers?
This is a fantastic point you make, and I think that...
they're always robust people,
it's
like
true.
Vikings.
It's true, and gym teachers.
Gym teachers, Vikings, my 3-year-old son.
Who is very healthy.
He is
Your 3-year-old son
healthy.
is a bear.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And he is a booger eater.
If you have ever seen the Ninja of Hugs, you know.
It's true.
This is a stout young man, and he eats boogers all the time, no matter how much I try to stop him.
I got to tell you, I am glad that I picked this topic.
Well,
that was a booger pun.
I'm glad that you picked that topic. Also.
Pick your friends.
Let me say this. We don't know how today is going to go. There's really no way to tell. But what I can say is that we have a fantastic show coming up. We have the big news. We have Michelle Baker to talk about art. And we have Vanessa
Hammond?
Yes. What we've been talking about.
It's all right. You didn't start the timer either.
Vanessa of the Khan legacy. That's the thing.
She's here to discuss the cystic fibrosis walk, and it's going to be awesome.
All this and more when we return on Tennessee Valley this morning. Yikes. That's how this show
Welcome back to Lights, Camera, Cleveland edition of Tennessee Valley this morning. Today is insane. This is what happens when you're up at 6 in the morning.
It's time for the big news!
That's right. Tell me, Rob, where's the big news come from?
The big news comes from the Cleveland Daily Banner.
I love that paper.
It is delivered.
Today is loud.
To my front door. And by my front door, I mean that patch of dirt sort of near the sidewalk.
It's a little muddy, but it is filled with news.
When I show up at my house and I stare at its beautiful visage there on my
Maybe we
lawn.
should just go to the news.
Yeah. Occupy Nashville costs $151,000, but that's according to state representative or House Representative Eric Watson.
This cost includes law enforcement and the cleanup of the Legislative Plaza, which, of course, as we know, has been filled with fecal matter and urine.
And let's not forget everybody's other favorite, needles.
But we don't know where, that could be anyone's urine.
That could be anyone's.
It's not necessarily the Occupy Wall Street people's.
Here's the fact. The occupiers have been there for a while. I was just down in Nashville, and so I decided to do a little investigating.
Up in Nashville.
That's where I was, up. And I decided I would walk around.
Did you find yourself stepping?
No. Let's stop. What I will say is this. There's a lot of tents, but really no people. I don't see them anywhere. I don't know where they are. There were a couple people that were either occupiers or homeless people.
So
now,
state representatives.
The problem is that the occupiers, they keep saying that the needles, the urine, and the fecal matter, that is not them. They're saying that is the homeless people. I am saying we need an investigation just to find out who is homeless and who is an occupier.
I think it's safe to say...
I was there, folks. This isn't like, Rob's hanging out in his palatial estate, sitting around wondering about the occupiers. I went. I looked. I could not find out.
I can tell you, and this is another one of those moments of hard-hitting, hard-nosed journalism. I think it's safe to say that the biggest provider of fecal matter in our capital are the lawmakers themselves.
I knew you were going there with that.
I had to go there.
Everything inside me was screaming, "Don't, but you did.
Urine, needles, and poop, folks.
We will
That's
have
what's there.
we will have Watson back on this show. You know, we had him here to comment on this once
That's
before.
right.
I do think this. At this point, they seem to have reached some sort of symbiotic relationship. Like, nobody seems to be really bothered. I think that what happened is they came and they set up some tents, and they just sort of snuck away.
I think it's interesting
And
that
like the legislators still think they're there.
I think it's interesting that the legislators are complaining it's cost $151,000 to clean up the people who are protesting that we spent $350 billion on TARP.
I don't know.
I mean,
don't
you know, maybe we should be upset about the bank bailout.
I don't know.
Maybe
I'm
that's
not
just me.
there. I'm not there.
I'm not there either.
What I'm going to say
I go
is,
potty in my own restroom.
when I think about that, I automatically think about the wheel tax.
Well, let's talk about the wheel tax, my friend.
Here's the thing. As you all know, a few weeks ago we had Commissioner Adam Lowe on this very show.
A handsome gentleman.
And he did speak to us about politics. And in particular, we asked him about the wheel tax.
Yes, we did.
The short version is the educators want the wheel tax because we have needs in education. Everyone agrees that the children are important. Average Joe citizen person is not terribly thrilled about being charged, an extra $32 per vehicle, half of that for a motorcycle.
That's right.
Okay, they have to be tagged vehicles. It's not just for those of us that have 10 or 12 old cars in our front yard.
On cinder blocks.
And I'm not saying those aren't out there. We know that they are. But if the car is tagged, then you pay a $32 tax per year per car, and then that money will go to the school systems. The educators have all said, listen, we have things we need. And we all know that that's true. That's true. What Adam Lowe said was, it's time to let the people decide if that's how they want to fund education. He said he agreed education is important. He agrees it needs to be funded, but he didn't want to be solely responsible for that being the way.
And as it turns out from this meeting, it seems like that's kind of the consensus of the Bradley County Commissioners, the Cleveland Councilmen, and the members of the city and county school boards who all came together and sort of decided that this is the plan. It needs to be the wheel tax. And in fact, when the mayor of Cleveland, Tom Rowland, asked them if there was a plan B, the response was there is no plan B.
That's what Commission Chair Louis Alford said. There
That's
is
right.
no plan B.
And so, this kind of led to this idea that all four groups are going to need to work together to assist in the passage of the wheel tax. In fact, Commissioner Jeff Yarber of the 5th District actually said that we, the commission, have really stepped up with the wheel tax. And I think what he's saying is we've stepped up with the wheel tax by letting the people decide so we don't have to.
Well,
that bothers me.
I have a plan. I have a plan.
You have a plan B.
I call it.
You've heard it here first.
I have a plan.
All right.
Plan B.
Plan B.
I
Tell us
call it
about
my
it.
999 tax.
All right. Does it involve pizza?
It does.
And womanizing.
What I
Pizza and womanizing, and we've got this wheel tax covered,
You are
folks.
going to get us in so much trouble.
I'm just
on
covering
this show.
the look. I was
Here's
content
the
to
thing.
talk about fecal matter
Here's
in
the
Nashville all
999.
day.
Here's the 999 plan. We go now to our next segment.
This is very effective. Well, today is, of course, the day before St. Patrick's Day.
Indeed it is.
And, a hard-hitting journalist approach to St. Patrick's Day is let's explore the history of that, shall we?
We shall. We shall.
St. Patrick's Day, observed on March 17th because that's the feast day of St. Patrick, the patron saint of Ireland. St. Patrick's Day is, of course, a worldwide celebration of Irish culture and history. Only St. Patrick wasn't actually Irish. In fact, he was from Britain. The interesting thing about it was he was actually a slave to the Irish people, much like Princess Leia was a slave to the sinister Jabba the Hutt. He did, however, eventually earn his escape and then returned to Ireland. Once in Ireland, he of course performed his famous feat of driving all of the snakes from Ireland. Only, that's not actually true either. You see, the snakes were just a metaphor for those wacky pagans. He'd used his Christianity to drive them from Ireland. We do, of course, have green. Green is the color associated with St. Patrick's Day, but that's not true either. blue is actually the color of St. Patrick, green wasn't associated with St. Patrick's Day until the 19th century. What about the parades? Are they at least Irish? Well, no. It turns out the first St. Patrick's Day parade was held in Boston in 1737. On the upside, 34 million Americans have Irish ancestry, which is nearly 9 times the population of Ireland. What about those wacky leprechauns? What are they truly? Are they just a place for us to find our lucky pot of gold? Or are they perhaps something more sinister, something more evil? To find out for certain, we went straight to the source, and we asked Lucky Charms icon Lucky the Leprechaun. Lucky, of course, stated that he was not concerned what he really was, as long as, quote, no one stole me pink hearts, orange stars, yellow moons, green clovers, blue diamonds, and purple horseshoes.
And that is hard-hitting journalism. You
That's
heard
why
right
we
here.
keep this guy around. He says some inappropriate things,
right.
but when he really digs in there, that is some hard-hitting news. And speaking
Let's go
of
to national
hard-hitting
news.
let's go to the national news, where the GOP still has no idea who's going to run for the presidency.
This is the same news as it was every week since we started hosting.
We began 8 episodes ago, a month and a half, which was already pretty deep into this. Mm-hmm. And a month and a half? I did that math wrong. Here's the point. The point is that at this point, it's still sort of a nudie, Mitt Romney-y, Santorum-y mix.
That's right.
And no one's really sure. Every once in a while, Santorum wins a few, but Romney's still kind of the most important. And
Nobody
dude's like,
knows.
I won't go away.
The only thing certain in this election is that Snooki is still pregnant.
That's true. In the most important piece of news in our last news segment.
That's right.
This. Nothing could be more important to the people of Tennessee. We have talked about Occupy. We have talked about the wheel tax. We have talked about the presidency of the United States. And these are all important things to the
That's
folks
right.
of Bradley County. But the most important thing we want to know is Peyton Manning coming to the Tennessee Titans.
Well, I'm glad you asked that. We actually go live right now to our star field reporter, Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning live at the Titans field in Nashville. Peyton, thanks for being with us. How are you today?
Go Vols!
Well, that's fascinating. Tell me, my understanding is that the team owner, Bud Adams, has offered you a lifetime career with the Titans. How do you feel about that?
Go Vols!
Speaking of Go Vols, you have the chance. You can play in Phoenix right now. You can play in Denver right now. There's been talks about maybe you going to the Miami Dolphins. We, of course, all want you to play for the Tennessee Titans. Can you get into a little bit of the maybe the financials of that contract? What is it that you're maybe looking at if you're going to come play for the Titans?
Go Vols!
Tell me, Peyton, my understanding is that not only have you been offered a career as playing football for the Titans, but they're also talking about once you retire, you'll be able to actually go into a front office job. How do you feel about a future with the Titans in the front office?
Go Vols!
There you have it. Peyton Manning, field reporter. You heard it
Go
here
Vols!
first. You heard it here first. We're going to be right back with Michelle Baker to talk about some art show nobody really knows yet, but we'll know in a minute after these commercials.
And who else is going to be here?
Vanessa Hammond.
There you go.
I knew that.
I'm Wes Robbins with Landmark Insurance Brokerage. When it comes to employee benefits, we've got you covered. Call me today for the best service and best solutions to your group health and employee benefits needs. At Landmark Insurance Brokerage, we've got you covered.
Hi, I'm Brittany Jackson. Join me every Wednesday night at 6:30 and midnight where we will highlight local sports, chat with coaches, and discover new tips every week. Only on In the Spotlight with Brittany Jackson.
Hyperbaric Services of East Tennessee is now open in Cleveland. Hyperbaric oxygen therapy is an incredible treatment, clinically tested for a variety of physical and neurologic conditions, including autism, migraine headaches, even sprains and injuries. It is a simple, safe, and painless process that raises a patient's oxygen level, providing an array of health benefits. So whether you're dealing with a weekend sports injury, chronic condition, or looking for anti-aging, You owe it to yourself to explore what hyperbaric services can do for you.
Hi, I'm Dr. Dennis Ford, board certified in anti-aging medicine and pain management. Have you had recent decrease in energy, lack of sex drive, feel moody, grumpy, or sad? If so, you may have low testosterone and be a candidate for bioidentical hormone replacement. Listen to what 2 of my patients have to say.
Before I came to the Ford Clinic, I had to have a nap every day.
When I got off work, I'd lay around, really didn't want to do much, and felt real lazy.
I've noticed since I had the testosterone implant that I can go a good 8 hours doing the things I enjoy doing.
I had it done, it took about 25, 30 minutes, 5 months, and I'm doing good. My stomach, my muscles, they've completely changed. My fat level has dropped. Get to go out and run, exercise with my son. My muscles are just getting stronger.
If you'd like to change your life, please call me at Ford Center for Pain Management and Anti-Aging Medicine at 423-400-9115.
It's a very simple process, and it's well worth it.
And we're back. You're watching Tennessee Valley This Morning. I'm Rob Alderman. With me, as always, my trusted traveling companion, the Hollywood Slinky, and now a guest on this show. This is not her first time, folks. This is not her first rodeo. She goes way, way back to the days of our mentor, Sir Dan Howell.
Sir Dan Howell.
We have Michelle Baker from Brookdale Senior Living with us on the show.
And the reason we get your name right is because you're actually wearing your name tag.
I know. You guys always say something about me wearing my name tag, and because I always forget that
it's
I
like
have
you're
it on.
afraid that we're not going to remember who you
It's like,
are.
this is who I am.
Well, the biggest issue with this thing, and the reason that we have to look at the name tag, is really because there are a lot of senior living places.
There really are.
We're just going to be honest. We're not going to talk about them all right now.
No.
But because we're going to talk about Brookdale Senior Living a bit.
Mhm.
But the reason that we look is because we don't want to mention all those other senior living places when we're talking to you.
Well, and a lot of people don't know what Brookdale is. You know, everybody says Brookdale. Where is that? It's Wellington Place in Clarebridge. Brookdale just happens to be our parent company, and apparently they didn't have enough room to put Wellington Place and Clarebridge on my name tag.
That's really pretty interesting. I don't know who handles Brookdale's marketing, but Camera One, maybe they should consider putting the actual names, either Wellington Place or Clarebridge. I'm saying on the name tag.
On the name tag.
If there really is no Brookdale here.
There's not a building named Brookdale.
You know what I mean? You're driving around Brookdale.
I think you're being hard on them.
Is that what you think?
We'll see.
Yeah, you can tell
we're not here to judge
This
you.
has been an internal conversation. You can tell. You can tell that this conversation has been had by folks, not us. I was just bringing it up.
I get the question of where is Brookdale? And if I'm in Walmart, I get the questions of, excuse me, can you tell me where such and so is? Because they think I work there when I have.
I think the most important question is, how difficult is it for you to work in such close proximity to Steve Hartline? Because your facility is right there up on top of the hill behind the Mountain View. Okay, I'm old school. I still say
the old Holiday Inn.
Say Old Holiday Inn.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I used to go up there to make out with my girlfriends when I was in college, but maybe I did. Maybe that's
at
how
the water tower. That's up there?
Maybe that's how I know where that is. Maybe that's how.
Leaving that one alone.
But yeah, the old Holiday Inn. The old Holiday Inn. What's it like? You've got Steve Hartline right there.
You know,
you probably see him a lot.
There are days, you know, like the tornado, which was a terrible thing that happened on the 2nd. But at first, I thought it was Steve Hartline's voice resonating from the building.
And it turned out it was just that roar of the tornado.
Of the tornado, yeah.
I understand. You know the.
Love you, Steve. Kidding.
That's not true. We'll edit that out in post.
So now, tell us a minute before we get to this. What was it really like, to be Dan Howell's trusted television companion?
You know, it was just such an amazing experience. No, I loved being on here with Dan. I really did. I saw Dan yesterday.
Did you?
On the Greenway, along with everybody else in Cleveland. It was such a beautiful day.
I'm going to say this on television. I know that Dan doesn't watch the show.
I miss the way he smelled.
I miss the way he used to. I miss the way he used to hug me. I miss the way that he used to hug me after every show.
Just a little longer than was appropriate.
He would hug me, and then he would look deep into my eyes, and he would say, "You're ruining my show." And then a couple times he would just repeat, "My show. My show." And kind of walk out really sad. I used to think that was cute. But I saw him at Steve Hartline's big event yesterday. You know, Steve did the big Hey, the Buzz, you know, his new FM talk show. And I saw Dan Howe, and I'm going to say this. And I'm not saying it because Dan doesn't watch. I know Dan doesn't watch. He told me he doesn't watch. He sleeps in these days.
Yeah, he said, I'm retired. I don't wake up until at least 7:40.
That's correct. But that man is always surrounded by beautiful women. That guy is like, I know that Steve Hartline said that I was the Brad Pitt of Cleveland. You may have heard of
yes, I did.
It isn't true.
It's not.
Dan Howe.
It's Dan
Howe is the Brad Pitt of Cleveland. And so I wonder what it must have been like for you to have been in the presence of such a ladies' man.
She probably just felt at home with all of the other beautiful women surrounding him. She was like, "Oh, I'm in my place."
I said it to him in front of these. There were these two very beautiful, very kind women, and I said, "Dan, you're always surrounded by beautiful women." And it didn't. What's great is it wasn't even awkward. He smiled and he said, "Oh, I don't know about all that." And then the two women giggled like, "Oh, he says we're beautiful," and it was just like. He kind of
it was just normal, and then
kind of
went
put
on.
his arm around him and said, "Ladies, let's go get a table." So they walked away and let me sit in there. Let's talk about this.
All right.
Let us talk about give your eyes a treat.
Give your eyes a treat.
I'm going to hold it up.
Oh, you going to hold it up, or am I going to hold it up?
Why do I not have a copy of this flyer?
Because I only brought two. I thought I brought three.
You didn't. Oh, I see.
But I have my cheat notes on
No,
the
I
back
see
of
how it
this,
is.
so,
I see how
you can
are.
hold it up, right?
No,
I promise.
No, that's all right. I'm just going to sit it between us.
Give Your Eyes a Treat is actually our third annual art show that we have done. This is the third one. I've actually been with Brookdale for 2 years now, and we did the first one right after I came. But it's a combination of an event for our residents and for the local school children. We have several schools that are participating. And what happens is their art departments, the students will prepare art pieces. Anything from photography to watercolors to, we've had ceramics, we've had beautiful pieces.
So you're saying the art departments prepare art.
Isn't that a novel idea?
We're onto something.
We are onto something.
Hard-nosed journalism at work.
Sounds like the kind of program that I think probably we ought to cut to save money for the wheel
That's
tax.
right. I'm saying, why haven't we cut these
No,
arts?
we can't cut the arts. Cannot cut the arts. But they bring these items up to the community. They display them. We do like a silent auction, and all the money that is raised from the sale of their artwork goes back to the school arts to the arts department.
How do
so it's kind of a
how do your
fundraiser.
residents get involved?
Our residents have actually, the first year they just did a little bit of artwork. The next year they were like, no, we want to do a whole lot more. So they started doing, different pieces. This year, the art department at Lee University came over and helped them do these really intricate ceramics.
And those things are also being auctioned?
The residents have decided they don't want to auction theirs. They don't want to do theirs. What they actually want to do is give them as gifts to their families. So I thought that was kind of appropriate.
And no one's going to tell them no.
No.
Which is why I'm making a special trip up there tomorrow.
Yes.
To let them know how selfish that is. Because the fact is, listen, I think that, the kids, they come up there, they hold this auction. The kids are saying, listen, let's participate here. Let's auction this for the good of the school system, right? We're trying to stop the wheel tax. We are having an auction like this, and yet I'm not going to get into it.
But there's an unwritten rule that when someone hits 75 or 80, you just don't tell them no.
Okay, that's fair.
I'll say
that is fair.
As the grandson of a 92-year-old man.
Could you tell your grandfather no?
My granddad gets whatever he wants.
There you go.
The doctor could tell my granddad, that sandwich that you're about to eat is going to kill you. And he would say, no, I'm eating this sandwich. And I don't care who you were.
And truth be told, that sandwich would not kill him. The man's a tank.
That's true. My granddad is a tank.
then let him do it.
So basically, so this is basically an art show featuring artwork from a bunch of local kids and also from your residents.
And also from our residents.
And that'll all be kind of interspersed and around. And this all takes place where?
At Wellington Place, and we have
Now Wellington Place, is that anywhere near Brookdale?
No, not the
What is
actual building.
I don't know what Brookdale is. What is the Brookdale Center
Where is the
living?
Wellington Place located?
It's up behind the old Holiday Inn. Old
There you
school
go.
thing.
Oh, there you go.
Old
Well,
school. Really
Mountain
close
View.
to Steve Hartline.
My question is, what schools are involved?
I have 5 schools involved this year. Bradley High School is going to be involved. Cleveland High School, so we have both of the high schools. Ocoee Middle School, Cleveland Middle School, and we're really excited this year too, the Truesdale School is going to be involved in it this year. So we're really excited to have them come on board.
Wow.
So every year we're hoping to make it a little bit bigger. We had asked a couple of other schools this year, but they just weren't able to participate in
let
it.
me
So
ask you
hopefully
this.
we can make it bigger.
The art that's being auctioned off. Is it? Let's say I'm going to Bradley.
Okay.
And we auction off a painting that I do. My paintings typically go for $3,000 to $4,000. Okay. So let's just say, let's keep it on the low end. We'll say this is a $3,000 painting.
Yes.
And we sell the $3,000 painting. Does that money get spread evenly among the schools, or does my painting go to Bradley?
Your painting would go to Bradley.
Okay.
So we divide it up to where, if, like, for example, we have one school in particular that usually does a whole lot more artwork. They send a whole lot more pieces, so they get the extra money for the extra
all
pieces.
the pieces on display so
Yes.
you can see them all and decide which ones you're going to bid on?
Yes.
And is it a silent auction, you
Yes.
said?
Yes.
I've heard that this auction is silent but deadly. That's probably
He
not
is
a
in
good
rare
joke.
form
That is not.
today,
That's
isn't
probably
it?
not
Here's what
a
I'll
assisted living facility joke. We should be
I think
making.
it really is. I think it really is. But here's what I was thinking. That's
what I've got.
Don't you think that this would be more fun as one of those, like an auction?
Have an auctioneer there.
Don't you
We've
think
thought
that'd be
about
awesome?
that. We've tossed that around. So
How about
that
a geriatric auctioneer?
That would be a thing. Would you like to come and be our auctioneer next year?
I will be your auctioneer.
just said
Would you
you're
be our
old.
auctioneer?
Listen, yeah, I said a geriatric auctioneer, and you said would I like to. Sometimes I have trouble getting up in the morning. I have to be reminded to eat breakfast. All those things are true.
It
I was
happens.
going to. The problem is we offend everyone, and I was just about to launch into a really funny geriatric auctioneer impersonation and what that would look like, and then who do I offend if I do this?
Oh my!
You know what I'm saying? Like, who all gets offended if I do it? But trust me, it's funny. I'm going to do it on the commercial break, and Vanessa Hammond is going to laugh.
All right,
laugh.
so when is this auction? We've talked about everything, but when it happens?
It is next Thursday, the 22nd, from 6 o'clock to 7:30. That's when we're going to stop the bidding. Is at 7:30.
And then will there be like an announcement, a ceremony at sometime after 7:30 where you tell everyone?
And a lot of time, really, people most of the time come in and go out. So we have some that stay because there's those few things that they want. We'll stay till the end, but a lot of people come in and out.
How big's the participation in this thing?
We usually have about 75 to 100 people come in and out.
Really?
Yeah, and a lot of them are parents of the students or their grandparents or friends, but we have a lot of other people coming.
There's going to be a lot more this year because you promoted it here on our show.
Exactly,
So
which is why I wanted to come.
Have you thought about the extra parking you're going to need?
I actually
or
have thought about the extra
security?
parking, the extra food, all
And
of that I'm going to
and
need.
if this is a special offer just for our viewers, if you go to this event and you mention to any of the people there that you heard about it here on Tennessee Valley this morning, you can help yourself then to free refreshments.
Absolutely.
What I heard, here's what I'm going to make a deal.
Okay.
I think this sounds fantastic.
Thank you.
And we'll find a way to make a deal for our next guest too, but this is a great deal. If you go to this auction right here, okay, at the Wellington Place, and because I think this is great. I don't think we need to lose the arts programs in our schools.
Yeah.
I think we're all agreed here, okay? If you go and you buy a piece, right, any
Right.
piece, we here at Tennessee Valley this morning will do a matching grant, okay? Not of money, but of art.
Oh, wow.
We will
I was
let-
kidding.
So
I can't
we're
wait.
going to do, from Tennessee Valley this morning, an artistic matching grant. Okay? And your daughter, right? How old is Dakota now?
She is 2.5.
2.5. My 8-year-old son, and then my 3-year-old, the Ninja of Hugs.
Love the Ninja
They
of Hugs.
will match art for art the pieces.
I love that idea.
This may or may not be a ploy for me to get all that stuff off of my refrigerator, finally. But you heard it here. I'm dead serious about this. This is our matching grant art. Okay? You buy one piece of art from Wellington Place, you get a second piece of art from Tennessee Valley this morning.
But you have to contact us.
Yeah, well, you have to at least let Michelle know.
Have to let me know.
That
That's
it's
right.
because of, and you make a list. Are you
I will make a
dedicated to
list.
that?
I will
Michelle
dedicate
will
it.
make a list of all of you that are coming to this thing because of this show.
Yes.
And then you're going to see the
Absolutely.
impact.
And I will,
you
and
better get
that's
home
what I
and
want to see.
Tell our kids they have to create
That's right.
thousands and thousands of pieces of art.
There will be a greater impact on your facility from this show than there is from all of the egotism emanating from the WCLE broadcast center across the street. And that makes an impact.
My favorite part was that when we said matching grant, her eyes got really big for a second.
She was like, ooh.
This sounds
This could be
fantastic.
very interesting.
These
And
kids
then
would
how-
love this
And
money.
she struggled to mask her disappointment when I said
like,
of art.
Oh, that's great.
Yay!
That's a wonderful
That's very nice of you.
What else we got? Anything else interesting going on?
Oh gosh, the Alzheimer's Association is already starting to plan their walk to end Alzheimer's.
Good grief.
So we have that going. It will be on September the 22nd, I believe, this
You know,
year.
I'm on that planning committee.
You know, I am too.
You just told me when to be at our first meeting.
I know, what, 15, 20
I
minutes
do
ago?
believe, and I'll say it here, that every year it gets better.
I agree.
You know? And it's going to be even better this year. It's going to be fantastic.
It is going to be fantastic.
Well, we end every guest with 4 questions.
Been thinking about
And
things.
so Ryan is ready to ask you the
All
4
right.
questions. And Michelle, we believe that you can learn anything you need to know about someone by asking these 4 questions.
All right.
What is your favorite movie of all time?
Oh, of all time. You didn't throw in the of all time. My favorite movie right now is The Help, but probably my favorite movie of all time is Gone with the Wind.
All right.
Okay.
What do you think is the greatest, best movie ever made?
Oh, Gone with the Wind.
What movie have you seen more times than any other?
There's 2, and I can explain why.
We're not interested.
I don't really. Okay, Legends of the Fall. You're going to hear it anyway.
Yeah, this is conflict.
Legends of the Fall, and A River Runs Through It.
You know, Legends of the Fall stars the Rob Alderman of Hollywood.
Yes, Brad Pitt.
And so
does A River Runs Through It.
Interesting.
Every time
So
those
this is
movies
a-
come on and I'm cleaning house, you know, because they're rerun all the time now, I just sit down and get nothing else done.
All right.
Legends of the Fall is like the guy. You know how like every once in a while there will be a chick movie that a guy can handle.
Yeah.
Legend of the Fall is like the
Is
guy's
one of those
movie that
movies.
chicks can handle.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, and then the last question is, what do you think is the funniest movie
It's
ever made?
complicated.
Well, that's okay. Sort through
But
it and give
it's
us
still,
an
it's
answer.
complicated. Loved that movie. Absolutely liked it. Loved it's complicated.
You were like the only person.
Ever.
Really? I loved it.
People didn't like that movie, Michelle.
I did.
I need to warn you.
I did.
I hate to go to commercial on such a sour note, but I guess that's what we're up to. That's what she's left us,
Disappointed
people.
though.
Sorry
You know,
about that,
you never shanghaied Sir Dan this way.
I didn't.
That's true.
I'm sorry.
We will be right back, and when we are, we'll be back with Vanessa Hammond to talk about cystic fibrosis, and that's a serious one.
Hi, I'm Brittany Jackson. Join me every Wednesday night at 6:30 and midnight where we will highlight local sports, chat with coaches, and discover new tips every week. Only on In the Spotlight with Brittany Jackson.
Hi, I'm Dr. Dennis Ford, board certified in anti-aging medicine and pain management. Have you had recent decrease in energy, lack of sex drive, feel moody, grumpy, or sad? If so, you may have low testosterone and be a candidate for bioidentical hormone replacement. Listen to what 2 of my patients have to say.
Before I came to the Ford Clinic, I had to have a nap every day.
When I got off work, I'd lay around, really didn't want to do much, and felt real lazy.
I've noticed since I had the testosterone implant that I can go a good 8 hours doing the things I enjoy doing.
I had it done, took about 25, 30 minutes. 5 months and I'm doing good. My stomach, my muscles, they've completely changed. My fat level has dropped. Get to go out and run, exercise with my son. My muscles are just getting stronger.
If you'd like to change your life, please call me at Ford Center for Pain Management and Anti-Aging Medicine at 423-400-9115.
Very simple process and it's well worth it.
Hello, I'm Dr. Gupta, and I'd like to introduce you to a valuable new healthcare solution here in Cleveland. Hyperbaric Services of East Tennessee is now open and accepting patients. Hyperbaric oxygen therapy is an incredible treatment clinically tested for a variety of physical and neurologic conditions, including autism, multiple sclerosis, fibromyalgia, migraine headaches, chronic fatigue syndrome, and even sports injuries and sprains. Hyperbaric oxygen therapy is a simple, safe, and painless process that raises a patient's oxygen level in the body. This increased oxygen level in our tissues and organs boosts the body's natural healing abilities and allows our bodies to function at a higher level. We will be happy to work in cooperation with your regular physician. However, referral is not required for this treatment. So whether you're dealing with a weekend injury, a chronic medical condition, or looking for anti-aging solutions, you owe it to yourself to explore what hyperbaric oxygen treatment can do for you or your loved ones. I invite you to contact us today for some more information.
I'm Wes Robbins with Landmark Insurance Brokerage. When it comes to employee benefits, we've got you covered. Call me today for the best service and best solutions to your group health and employee benefits needs. At Landmark Insurance Brokerage, we've got you covered.
Welcome back to Tennessee Valley this morning. We are now joined by Vanessa Hammond. For those of you at home who don't recognize her, that's too bad. She is here to talk about...
you should recognize her.
How is that for an intro?
Well, she is Jerome Hammond's wife,
That's
of
right.
course, and she is the daughter of Paul Kahn. And so that's why sometimes I slip up and say Vanessa Kahn.
Right. That was actually why
I grew up in those
you got
days.
stuck at the
Yeah,
beginning.
I grew
that
up in the
reason.
old school days, pre-Jerome.
There you go. Well, Vanessa is here to talk about cystic fibrosis and some of the things they're doing in our community to raise money.
Yes.
Tell us, why are you interested in cystic fibrosis?
Well, I'm interested because I have a son who has cystic fibrosis. Will, he's 14 years old, and when he was 9 months old, he was diagnosed with CF, as they call it, and we had no clue what it was at the time. And most people have heard the word, but they don't know what that means.
Well, can you tell us a little about what that does mean?
Sure, it's a genetic disease, and it affects, just briefly, it affects the lungs and digestive systems of patients. The cells don't work properly to transport the salt out of them, so your body develops a lot of thick, sticky mucus, and it causes lots of problems, mostly with your lungs. But
What sort of things, for example, with your son? What's a day like? You know, how do you have to? I know that there's a lot of work involved
Yes.
in keeping up with that to make sure that
Sure.
that anyone with CF remains healthy. What's that like?
okay, his daily treatment includes twice a day, morning and night. He does something called chest physical therapy. He has a percussion vest. It's a machine that pumps air into a vest, and it blows it up, and then it pulsates, and so it shakes the whole chest. Instead of pounding on someone's back like a pneumonia patient, it does it for you. So he does that chest therapy twice a day, 20 minutes each. He has
And that breaks
yes,
it up?
that helps just break the mucus up a little, so it can help get out, so that it doesn't clog. The problem is infection. So
Right.
infection, inflammation, and it causes progressive lung damage. There are inhaled medications. So he has one medicine he inhales once a day through a nebulizer that is formulated to try to thin that. Then an inhaled antibiotic that he does a month on, a month off, and it's 3 times a day. So morning, middle of the day, whenever we can work it in, and then at night. And then he's on lots of medications, enzymes to help absorb food and gain weight, just lots of pills.
Staying healthy is a lot of work for someone with cystic fibrosis.
It is. It can be time consuming. And
what's the prognosis like for someone who has this disease?
currently, the average life expectancy is 38 years.
Okay.
which is younger than I am and very young, but it is much older than it used to be, which is terrific news.
When I was at Lee, one of my best friends at Lee, his brother had cystic fibrosis.
Okay.
And I can remember that at that time, the expectancy was 18. So it's not been, I mean, that's, the
15
medical,
years ago.
what I'm saying, the medical strides have been huge.
It has really progressed. It's been fantastic. In the late 80s, the gene was discovered, the gene that causes CF, and since that time, really so much research has gone into improving treatments, and we just know so much more. And
Well, there is something really, really great happening right now.
Yes.
With cystic fibrosis treatment.
This is fascinating.
This is really great. Why don't you tell us about this?
Okay, a new drug, it's called Kalydeco, has been in development about 14 years, and it's the first drug for cystic fibrosis that treats the root cause instead of just the symptoms, addressing what's going on. It goes in and actually restores the cell function for a patient with CF. And it was just approved by the FDA at the very end of January. Last year it was through a whole year-long trial. The results were outstanding. And for patients who can take this, it's not a cure because you have to keep taking it, but it is like a cure. At least that's the hope. That's what the trial suggests.
I had read it's kind of likened to insulin for diabetics. With regular upkeep of it, you can live very normal with this.
Absolutely. I mean, the patients who were on it for the trial and have been on it just report this almost immediate, within a few days, change.
And this only applies, unfortunately, to about 4%?
Exactly, 4%, which for cystic fibrosis, there are 30,000 patients in the U.S. with CF, and so that's 1,200 people in the whole country who have that mutation that this drug targets.
Right, and it's because it is specifically for this particular form of CF.
Exactly.
And this was good news for you.
Yes, it is a miracle. It's an answer to prayer for our family because Will has that particular mutation, and we got insurance approval Monday. The drug shipped. We got it Tuesday, so he's on day, I guess day 3.
Has he started to see? Have you started to see a difference?
No. We're like, can you tell him?
No, I mean, but you said, sometimes within days, so it's
really
very exciting.
Exactly. So it is as the CF Foundation one report I saw just recently, for those who have this mutation, take the drug, it is a life-changing medication.
Now, what is interesting about the story of this drug isn't just that it, for all intents and purposes, cures the disease. Like you said, it's not a cure, but it cures every ailment from this. But it has a very unique story in terms of its development. It is one of the fastest drugs to ever, from the time they realized what this drug did to the time that it is now hitting market. I mean, for a normal drug that does what this drug does for any disease, it would never have seen market. Your son would probably, unfortunately, have been very late in.
It takes,
and so I know that one of the major stories with this drug is that it has reached the mark. Think about this. I mean, how old is your son?
He's 14.
And this drug was begun 14
About
years
14
ago.
years ago, exactly.
And that is incredible. I mean, most of these things stay in.
It's very fast.
They stay in. People don't realize that. It seems like a long time, but the results, as I understand it, correct me or expound on this, the results on this have been so concrete.
Yes.
So solid. I mean, we're talking there are no side effects. We're talking that
right.
It's so solid that we're seeing really the first of its kind for something like this to hit market. Like no medication for a major ailment has ever hit market.
It has been astounding. I mean, it far exceeded the scientists' hopes during the trials. And it's really breaking ground regarding drug discovery, the whole industry, because it's something called venture philanthropy in drug development for small orphan diseases that don't have enough population that a big drug company will even look at. They won't invest anything in it. So the CF Foundation, this organization that we care deeply about, is They pump the money into a small drug company and give them incentives to work on this particular project, this goal, and benchmarks, and that's what gets them the scientists to work on it.
And this drug, they think, will be able to be adapted with some work to at least help
exactly
the other 96%, and maybe do more than just help.
Exactly. Those trials are in right now, those development of other molecules. The idea is they found a path, an area that has been successful. So now there's much more hope about, okay, so now let's work on the mutation that causes 90%.
But of course, all of that requires funding.
A lot of
money.
Everything
is under money.
That's what brings us here today.
Yes.
Because as fantastic as this story is, and something that hits very close to
and we're
you,
incredibly happy for you.
And we are so happy for you, happy for your family.
I got to meet Will the other day, and he's a great young man.
And this is wonderful. But really, as the mother of a boy that had this, you have to be thinking in your mind about those other mothers that
absolutely
are the 96%. So tell everybody,
sure.
What are we going to do to raise the money to keep putting into these drug companies what they need to develop this drug for the other moms out there?
Absolutely. We're going to walk and we're going to run. And the CF Foundation is a national foundation that raises money, and almost 90 cents of every dollar goes straight to programs, the research primarily, but also some patient care things, but primarily the research. And their large grassroots nationwide fundraising is the Great Strides Walk. There are walk sites all over the country, and March 31st is Cleveland's Walk, our 12th annual Great Strides Walk for CF. So we have teams, you come, you raise money, you donate and join together, lots of fun. And last year, Great Strides nationally raised over $38 million.
Now, I have a relative, a little girl who lives out in California, and she has cystic fibrosis.
Yes.
And unfortunately, her name's Abby, and I don't mean unfortunately her name's Abby. I mean, unfortunately, she is not in the she's in the 96%. So this drug doesn't help her. But my wife, walks in the Great Strides walks, and she actually drove to Illinois last year to walk with the rest of her family. And Abby's Army is what they call.
Oh, that's great.
They call her team.
Yeah.
So this is something that is close to my heart as well. Having someone in our family that has it. So we can walk, we can run, and what's it take to be a part of this? Is there a website that I can go to?
There is a website. leeuniversity.edu, homepage for Lee University, who hosts the walk and is the major sponsor. There's a link on there to our local event page where you can register online. You can get the schedule of events, information. We also have a 65 Roses 5K race that same morning that if you're a runner.
I'm a walker. I'm not going to participate in the run because I've won that now 4 or 5 years in a row. And the problem is that at some point people get sick and tired of seeing me win all the time.
Pass around the prizes.
Well, that's why I did a matching grant. I did a matching art grant. Maybe you saw that in the other segment.
I did. That was quite clever.
And so I'm going to offer a matching grant here.
All right.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
For everyone who signs up for this cystic fibrosis walk, we're going to calculate the amount of miles. So it's 1 mile, right? For the walk is 1 mile.
3 miles.
It's 3 miles.
It's a 3 mile walk.
Wow, this deal just got a lot more.
Well, see this where it says length 1 mile? I was going off this brochure. I thought the 1M stood for 1 mile, but I'm incorrect. 3 miles. Okay.
I thought it was 1 meter, and it was just like a 5-minute walk.
Here's the deal.
Oh, man.
We will total.
We won't tell anyone.
We want to know. You're going to report back to us. Okay? How many miles they all walk.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so however many people enter, times 3.
Okay.
And Ryan is going to walk that same many miles.
Great.
Okay? And he will wear an Abby's Army t-shirt. I'm going to wear it too. How about this? We will take a red wagon of sorts, and I will pull you half the time, and you will pull me half the time.
You'll fit right in. There are lots of wagons, lots of kids come out. And you don't have to walk the whole thing.
You don't?
We have a tow truck that can pick you up if you're getting tired. or your kids are
You
getting
feel
cranky.
better about this matching grant?
Well, the great thing about this is that as with most walks, this is one of those things where you want to find people to sponsor your walk to help
Right.
raise money for that. And we're early enough because this walk isn't until the end of the month.
Right.
We're early enough to get the word out, and you can get your friends to sponsor you, and you can help raise even more money. And so that's very exciting. So
It is exciting.
Here's the thing. I really mean that. I haven't been involved. I'm pretty involved in a lot of these. I do a lot of walks. That's a fact, okay? I need to say that in Cleveland, these are the most uplifting, hopeful events that anybody could attend. When you do this, or you do the Alzheimer's walk, or you do the American Cancer Society walk, you are really getting involved in a community level that says, this is really important.
Absolutely.
it says this is the city with spirit.
Well,
Yes,
I'm
it
thinking about
does.
something. Well, you know what is really interesting to me? We're sitting here, the three of us, and of the three of us, we have two different people right here on this show that have family members with this disease.
And you had a friend
And
who
I had a
had it.
friend who had
Yeah.
it, and his brother died. His brother died of this. He didn't make it, and it was horrible. It was
Yeah.
horrific. And so. This is such an important issue.
Yeah.
I want to say, camera one, I know I'm always joking with you, but in all seriousness, let's all get out and let's participate in this. It's at the end of this month. Get your team together. Get your sponsors together. The Slinky's going to be there. I'm going to be there. Let's all walk together and really put the money. Think about this. There's a cure now. For 4% of this. That's insane.
Yeah.
It's insane. And
It's
the other
not often-
96% of people are hoping
Yeah.
you will do
That
this.
this
They-
cure
they-
will
This
lead
needs
to that
money.
cure. Right.
There's another little girl out there that is not cured, and she might be. You know what I mean? Like, if she's going to live till 38 already, that gives us another 14 years to find her cure.
That's right.
That's right.
So let's get the money in and keep it funded.
This is one. This is unique. We talk about, like, with the memory walk. For Alzheimer's. There's not a cure for Alzheimer's right here in front of us. We want there to be, and I'm not saying don't walk for Alzheimer's.
Absolutely.
Walk for Alzheimer's. But like with this one, there's something. It's tangible. It literally is right here.
tangible.
This is
and
such an exciting time in medicine.
Let's get out and support cystic fibrosis at the end of the month so that we can be done with it and then put that money towards Alzheimer's.
Right. They
And the
say
American
make
Cancer
CF
Society.
stand for Cure Found. That's kind of a tagline that a lot of people in the CF community. Let's make CF stand for Cure Found.
And that's awesome.
Well,
done.
before you go, we have two
Yes.
more things, and the first one
Oh.
is the pasta dinner.
Yes.
Oh, there's a pasta
Tell
dinner.
us about this pasta
Look,
dinner.
I have this flyer.
Yes, the
right.
pasta dinner is a group on campus at Lee University to help raise money. We do lots of wraparound events. Come pig out on pasta the night before the race. All the proceeds will go toward the Great Strides, the overall fundraising total. And another benefit, not on your flyer, pre-race packet pickup. So if all you runners don't want to come, there we expect over
There you
700
go.
runners that Saturday
Well,
morning.
let me tell you a little bit about this. I met
Yes.
I met these students today.
Oh,
I
great.
actually was over at the university and I was lecturing in their class,
Mm-hmm.
and they could barely focus because they started their class. They all got to class 10 minutes early, and we're talking about this and the donations and the spaghetti supper, and they're very excited about this. And then they told me, unfortunately, your husband was speaking. And so I think maybe we keep that
On the
Okay.
DL.
Maybe we tell people you're speaking.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay? You heard it here. Vanessa Hammond will be speaking at this. I'm just kidding. Jerome is very engaging. He's
more entertaining
This
than
is
I
near
am.
and dear to his heart. I had the chance
Yes.
to talk to him about this drug a few weeks ago, and he talked about it. I'm not kidding. He was so intense. I literally couldn't get away.
And this is
I believe you.
the pasta dinner's in the great room at the Math and Science Building, and that's on
Yes.
on March 30th at 6:30. And
Right.
is there a place they can go online to find out more about that?
They
the cost
can.
is $10.
Well, they can email greatstridesdinner@gmail.com, or they said somehow get a hold of Rob Van Hook
Okay.
over there. So Rob Van Hook in the IT department at Lee, you can get a hold of him. Here's the deal. There's going to be a silent auction. There's going to be live music. There's going to be pasta. You can email your reservation and pay at the door. And Jerome Hammond's going to be talking about this drug. And I make a little bit of fun of Jerome, but I want to be honest. He is very excited about this, and it's going to be entertaining.
All right, so we're almost out of time, so we've got to ask you the 4 questions. What's your favorite movie ever made?
Star Wars. I see the poster over there.
yeah.
I mean, that dates me. My first PG movie, Star Wars.
What's
Con let you see that?
3rd grade. Love
Whoa!
it.
You're busted, Dr. Khan.
What do you think is the best movie ever made?
What came to mind is The Godfather. That
All right.
probably dates me too. It's a standard.
What
so.
movie have you seen more than any other?
Any Disney classic, you name it, I've seen it
You
more than
have
anyone.
kids.
Kids, more kids.
All right, and
They
what do you-
watch over and over.
What do you think is the funniest movie ever made?
I remember laughing a lot years ago in Dumb and Dumber.
All
I
right.
don't know.
There you go.
Thank you for being with
Thank
us.
you.
Thank
Thank
you for everything you're doing for this cause. Go sign up for this walk. Go to the pasta dinner.
We'll be right back. Tennessee Valley This Morning.
Hi, I'm Dr. Dennis Ford, board certified in anti-aging medicine and pain management. Have you had recent decrease in energy, lack of sex drive, feel moody, grumpy, or sad? If so, you may have low testosterone and be a candidate for bioidentical hormone replacement. Listen to what 2 of my patients have to say.
Before I came to the Ford Clinic, I had to have a nap every day.
When I got off work, I'd lay around, really didn't want to do much, and felt real lazy.
I've noticed since I had the testosterone implant that I can go a good 8 hours doing the things I enjoy doing.
I had it done, took about 25, 30 minutes, 5 months, and I'm doing good. My stomach, my muscles, they've completely changed. My fat level has dropped. Get to go out and run, exercise with my son. My muscles are just getting stronger.
If you'd like to change your life, please call me at Ford Center for Pain Management and Anti-Aging Medicine at 423-400-9115.
It's a very simple process, and it's well worth it.
I'm Byron Winters with Landmark Insurance Brokerage. Contact me for all of your business insurance needs. From general liability to workers' comp, commercial auto, and business umbrellas, Landmark Insurance has you covered.
Hyperbaric Services of East Tennessee is now open in Cleveland. Hyperbaric oxygen therapy is incredible treatment, clinically tested for a variety of physical and neurologic conditions, including autism, migraine headaches, even sprains and injuries. It is a simple, safe, and painless process that raises a patient's oxygen level, providing an array of health benefits. So whether you're dealing with a weekend sports injury, chronic condition, or looking for anti-aging, you owe it to yourself to explore what Hyperbaric Services can do for you.
Hi, I'm Brittany Jackson. Join me every Wednesday night at 6:30 and midnight where we will highlight local sports, chat with coaches, and discover new tips every week. Only on In the Spotlight with Brittany Jackson.
And we're back. You're watching Tennessee Valley This Morning.
Or at least you're listening.
It's time for the preview review, and we have like 2 minutes left.
All right,
on this
well, the
show.
preview review is where we review movies, tell you if you should see them or not based on all the previews and all the things that we've read about it. We have not seen these movies, and we're going to tell you if you should not see these movies.
Well, there are a couple movies coming out, but only one that is in widespread release.
That's right.
And it is the one that we're going to talk about now, and that's
Jump!
21 Jump Street, starring Jonah Hill, Academy Award nominated, oddly enough to say that. Jonah Hill, Channing Tatum, Ice Cube, directed by Phil Lord and Chris Miller, and it's about a pair of underachieving cops that are sent undercover to a high school.
This is, of course, a remake of the old television show 21 Jump Street starring Johnny Depp. That show was a drama. This one, of course, in classic Hollywood fashion, is not a drama. It's a comedy because for some reason, Hollywood seems to think that if you're going to remake something people love, you should somehow ruin it and turn it into a comedy.
It's like a dramedy.
Yeah.
It's got a little, it'll have just enough.
Yeah.
We have 1 minute left. Ryan, what are you going to give it?
I'm going to hate this one. You know, I'm a firm believer that these movies should not be turned into comedies if they were a classic drama. Make a classic new drama. This could have been a really fun little adventure movie, and it's going to instead be some dumb Channing Tatum, Jonah Hill comedy.
I think that this film is actually going to be more drama than comedy. I think that the trailer's probably misleading. I'm actually giving it a great because I am playing, are you ready? Dun 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 dun. My Jonah Hill card.
Oh, snap!
Jonah Hill has yet to fail. I've actually picked him as a great on every film since he started, and he has yet to phone one in.
I see your Jonah Hill and cancel with Channing Tatum.
But Channing Tatum is a 50-50 actor.
He's also like 50 years old.
Channing Tatum does not fail enough to overcome Jonah Hill's winning enough. I give it Jonah Hill by a nose. What'd you say, Jennifer?
Jennifer says we're done. We'll see you next week. Tennessee Valley This Morning. Woohoo!